I promised you all that I was going to make a video before the end of the month, and we're going to do that exactly right now. All right, so let's do some backstory right here. I'm a total fan of Laserdiscs. I love Laserdiscs. Movie Laserdiscs, interactive Laserdiscs, just fancy looking single off press Laserdiscs. I wish I could had more space in this house to even just put Laserdiscs on the wall just to show them off. But I always loved playing with Laserdisc technology because it's a strange, like, well, it's interactive, but at the same time, it's not a VHS tape, and it's definitely not a DVD or any other digital format. So interactive Laserdisc machines are very interesting because they got used in kiosks, they were used in museums, they were used in places where you needed this self-contained package where you could have the player, you could have the computer, you could have the special video overlay hardware, and maybe even some control software all packed into one small box. And I already actually have one such interactive Laserdisc machine. This rather heavy thing here is the Matrox EVDP. We'll get involved in this more in another video, but I got this here in 2012. It didn't cost me too much money. It was $75 plus $150 shipping. So that really wasn't bad considering it came up from Texas of all places. Unfortunately, it's not in the best of condition, and while it can post, it's really, well, it's a bit of a basket case. We'll get to this one on another day. But I've always kept my eye out and looked for more Laserdisc players that were of the interactive variety. I know there was, for example, IBM had something out there. There were those arcade machines at the time which used Laserdiscs. Was it Dragon's Lair? That was in particular a very popular interactive Laserdisc arcade game, but there was still stuff out there. And I know this was used for a fair number of years. You may have gone to a science center or a museum where it was like a row of buttons, and if you pushed the button, it played the video. I guarantee you that was a Laserdisc being played somewhere behind the scenes. So a couple of months ago, actually, a person by the name of TangentDelta brought to my attention that he'd received a Sony model that I really couldn't find much information about. There was a couple of pamphlets. There was the Laserdisc Archive UK that just had like one photograph and said this is what it was. This was the general specs. He sent me a couple photos, but otherwise it was like I really don't have much interest for it myself. And I asked, well, what could I do to get it off your hands? It was $1. Now, this was located on the East Coast. Now I had to get this thing shipped over here, and that's where my expenses started because, pardon me here, I'm not making that up either, it's quite heavy. It's a big unit, it's very heavy as well. So what I ended up doing is that I dealt with logistics, I dealt with the packaging, I mailed it all out to him. I gave myself a budget because I'm still tight money even then, and it went out there, it got packaged, I sent him the money, and I immediately went over budget. So if we look at the paperwork that I had here, I spent, $13 on shipping, or not on shipping, but on insurance. I valued this thing at $1,000. Why the hell did I value this thing at $1,000? Because this was a specimen that was actually posting. It was in visually good condition from the photographs. I wanted something that looked really nice, really clean, and wasn't about to get destroyed by UPS because their nickname is United Parcel Smashers. So, as you can see here, there was a shock watch that was put on top of the unit here, and as we can also see here, putting $1,000 of insurance onto a package really makes people turn their heads and realize, whoa, that's going to be something that I don't want to have a phone call for. And as you can see, the shock watch isn't red. So this here has survived the shipment. And what we're going to be doing here in this video is that we're going to be doing an unboxing. And then we'll probably talk about the unit itself more in another video. So, let's get our box cutters out and let's start opening it. Okay, how am I going to open this? Okay, we're going to open this. I'm just going to cut this here. We're going to drop it down because I'm just running low on space here. Great. Again, I'd like to thank TangentDelta. Like, he did a lot. He was very patient for this. And I can't say I was patient because, honestly, he just did something absolutely amazing. wonder if I can reuse that shock watch. All right. Okay, I'm seeing lots of bubble wrap, which is good. And a reminder, if this doesn't work out, maybe there's a follow-up video where I'm going to have to be doing my insurance claim. Because, hey, I have no problem getting my money back. And I forgot to mention that as well. Sure, I already paid $400 total to ship this thing here. It's a lot of money, so it was $150 over budget right off the bat. And then when it arrives here, there's another $266 in brokerage fees to pay. Half of that is just GST. Ouch! I paid almost $700 to get this thing here. That was extremely painful. Where were we? All right. Can I do this? I don't want to cut this up. I see a box here. Ooh, I see it. Okay. Oh, wow. Is it broken? Oh, okay. For a moment here, I thought the front door was broken. No, it's not. Oh, you can see this from over here. There's this little door, and I thought that had broken. Nope. Look at that. Wow. Okay, let's get this out of here. Come on. We're out of here. Out of here. Get out of here. The Sony View System VIW-3015. Ta-da! Get out of here, box. Ye evil thing. There, got it? Get out of here. Get out of here. Did I break the shock watch? Oh, well. So this is it. Look at the size of this thing. If you know this is Sony's U-matic decks, this is even bigger than that. So what do we got here? At the very top of the unit, we have a Sony LaserMax. What is the model of this? Yeah, LDP-2000. This is one of their industrial players. This is strapped on here, but it does have a special side case, so it looks like it's all one unit. Otherwise, we do have the Sony View System, which is sitting at the bottom here. We do obviously have a hard disk inside of here, as well as AT power. There's no software power control here. Keyboard port. We didn't receive a keyboard with this, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. A light pen port. That's cool, but again, we didn't receive a light pen with this either. And RS-232C with a 2 in a bracket. So this is probably serial port number 1. And we have a 5¼ inch floppy drive here. I'm not sure if that's 360 or 1.2 meg yet. Same goes with the floppy drive up here, but notice the long bar that's right here. I almost feel like this is going to be a 720K drive. But yeah, the Laserdisc player on top of here, fairly standard industrial grade stuff here. So you have your regular controls, index control, CX on and off, and toggles for the left and right audio channels, plus a remote. By the way, if you're wondering if all the industrial Laserdisc players are that big, the answer is no. This here is the LDP-1500. This is the model below the LDP-2000, and it is significantly smaller, albeit not as feature-rich. It does still have video, the BNC video output, it still has stereo out, it still has RS-232, and it has the pulse lock, but you're missing out on stuff such as internal or external sync control. And, well, you don't have that fancy little hours meter. And, before I forget, let's also take a look underneath that little tiny door that I was talking about earlier. So, if I push the button, down it comes, and we have these little controls that are hiding underneath there. The first one is our volume control, but I don't see a headphone jack, so excluding the one in the Laserdisc player that's above it, I don't think it's going to be for that. I'm assuming it's for the output. We'll find out. Next to that is a color control and a hue control. These are most likely for the video output options that are built into this machine. We'll get into that at a later time as well. Next to that is the starting device selector switch. We have FD, which is also set to auto, and well, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. That's the floppy disks. We have HD, because again, not only is a hard disk drive in this machine, like it has the little indicator lamp right here, so we can totally boot from that. Or we can be in auto, I guess, so we can still just boot off that anyways if it finds something on the floppy. And third, and this is the one that's really throwing me off right now, is this VD setting at the far end. Now, we know for a fact you can't boot off of a video disc. We have composite out here, audio out, And the serial port that I'm aware of only does control of the Laserdisc player itself. So that one there is definitely going to require a manual if I can find something. But anyways, right next to that, the only other thing that's in this machine that makes it a computer or a PC is a reset button. On the back of the unit, there we go. So this is where it begins to show that it is definitely a two-piece system. The Laserdisc player is this top half here. And we have this little short power cord here, which plugs into there. So when you turn on the power switch for the unit, it also turns on the Videodisc player. The Videodisc player, let me see if I can get this better for the camera here. All right, hold on a second. Let's see if we can get a better shot for the camera. So the back of the unit itself, as you can see here, and I'm actually having to struggle to get around this because, my God. Okay, so for the Videodisc player, we have a lock pulse signal. I'm assuming that's some sort of sync signal right here. That's not the usual synchronized video input source, which can be toggled here from either the internal sync engine or an external sync source on there. Auto repeat can be toggled on and off via this switch right here. Below that is a set of dip switches for baud rate, which is related to the serial port we have right here. So we are missing the cable that probably goes from here over to here, I guess. And we have an hours meter here. Where is that reading? That is reading about 250 hours, which is really not that bad. This hasn't seen that much use. We have our RCA stereo line level out. We have video out, which is likely going to be composite, and it's going to be in BNC. And then we have Sony's fancy multi-pin connector here as well. Now down here on the PC side, again, we have the switched outlet for the Videodisc player, and it even says Videodisc player only. Directly below that, I have a grounding screw as well as our power input. Is this switched? No. This says AC 120 volts, 50 or 60 hertz, but it does not say if it switches over to 240. So I would say it would be bad to plug this into 240 right now, plus our power switch. And way the hell over here, we have, well, there's a sticker here indicating 2 more serial ports, but there's nothing there. We have our video input here, which is our composite, so that's likely coming in from the Laserdisc player. We have an analog RGB port. This is a 15-pin port right here, and from what I'm being told, that's not the Macintosh video port, so that's going to be peculiar. A little bit of research is going to have to be done there. We do have our audio in and out over here on this board. This connector right here is a digital RGB output, so CGA? There's more research here. And at the very far end here, the serial port and a printer port. These are all also, by the way, labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E. There's way more slots in here than I would expect to have for an ISA interface, and from what I've seen, it isn't ISA in here at all. Other than that, I think the only thing that's really noticeable about this is that we do have a handle here. System 10, so does that indicate to me that there was more than one machine this location had? And on the top of the unit, may be difficult to see in the lighting here, so let's look at camera 2. There you go. We have these little tiny indents here, so you can place a monitor on top, and there's 4 of them. And the underside is otherwise pretty nondescript. But there we go. A Sony View system. The interactive Laserdisc player for the masses. Or is it? Anyways, this video is just going to be an unboxing. Our next video, however, we're going to take a look inside of this machine and really find out what's going on under the hood. Till next time.